It's crushing, isn't it? You build something real, something raw, something that keeps you up at night, and just when you think you've got the momentum, the crowd pulling with you, then institutional money shows up, and everything shifts. Suddenly, your world is no longer yours alone. The energy changes. The rules feel different. The freedom you fought for starts to feel like a negotiation, like a slow squeeze. You wanted partners, but what you got were gatekeepers dressed as saviors. The frustration swells because you're caught between two worlds. On one side, the wild, open, raw power of the crowd's belief in your vision. On the other, the cold, measured logic of institutions that smell risk and demand control. That collision? It breaks founders. It burns dreams. It leaves you with a choice that feels like selling your soul or staying stuck forever. But what if there's a way to take that collision and turn it into a supernova? What if you could harness the massive grassroots fire of crowdfunding and the deep pockets and structure of institutional money without losing your soul? Imagine tearing down the old system that tells you it's impossible to have both. Because here's the brutal truth. It's not just about money. It's about power. Power over your story, your vision, your future. Institutional investors want you to fit their mold. The crowd wants your authentic fire. And the moment those two meet, that tension is electric. It's uncomfortable. It's dangerous. But it's also the edge of something new. A place where real change happens. The kind of change that shakes the foundations of the normal and births the extraordinary. The problem is, most founders and leaders don't get this. They see institutional money and think freedom is dead. Or they rely purely on crowdfunding and fall into chaos when the stakes get high. Or worse, they try to juggle both without a strategy, so toxic compromise sneaks in and kills the vision slowly, bit by bit. Trust is shredded, control slips, and the momentum that once felt unstoppable starts to feel like a trap. Behind these battles are real fears. You know them. Fear of losing control. Fear of disappointing the people who believed in you. Fear of the cold, unfeeling eyes of institutions calculating your worth like commodities. Fear that your dream collapses, piece by piece, under the weight of dollars and terms you barely understand. Every founder has felt this nightmare. Every leader has tasted that doubt. But listen carefully. What you're really fighting for is sovereignty. Not just as a founder or investor, but as a human with the fire to challenge the world. Crowdfunding alone is a revolution of voices, raw passion, connection to people who want to see you win. Not because they have to, but because they believe in you. It's messy, chaotic, unpredictable, but it's honest. Institutional money offers scale, experience, legions of networks that can push your dream to wider horizons. But it's built on rules designed to protect the powerful, not liberate the rare. The collision of these forces isn't a curse. It's a test. A call to build a bridge strong enough to carry the weight of both worlds without losing your essence. And most importantly, it's a call to rewrite the rules that say you must choose between freedom and funding. The secret lies in something few founders and investors talk about because it cuts too deep. The need to build deliberate alliances. Not just investors or backers, but sovereign partners. People who don't want to own your dream, but to fuel it. Partners who respect the power of the crowd, who see the fire in your vision and understand that scaling isn't about controlling. It's about expanding without losing what makes you unique. This means setting boundaries so tight they burn down every attempt to hijack your narrative. It means creating transparency so stark it leaves no shadows to breed mistrust. And above all, it means demanding respect for your voice, your mission, your autonomy. Institutional money only feels like a cage if you let it. When wielded properly, it becomes the wind beneath your wings, not the chain around your ankle. But this requires a brutal, ruthless reassessment of your relationships, your terms, your strategy. Here's what most don't know. You don't need to sell your soul to get institutional backing. You don't have to drown the crowd's voice in spreadsheets and quarterly reports. In fact, the real power comes from integrating these worlds so completely that one fuels the other. Imagine crowds not just as donors, but as validators, buzz generators, underground armies that protect your dream from being sanitized. Imagine institutional investors who don't just bring money, but bring strategic alignment. People who are willing to brace the chaos of your authenticity, because they know that's where real growth lives. This synergy creates a feedback loop so powerful that the old systems, fear, control, compromise, shatter like glass. The electricity from the crowd charges the cautious rigor of institutions, making them not just funders, but believers in a shared future. And this isn't fantasy, it's happening now. It's in the rare founders who fiercely guard their individuality while embracing smart strategy. Those who are teaching the system a new lesson: respect the edge or get left behind. To do this, founders and leaders must learn the art of selective collaboration. Not just saying yes to the first offer that looks good on paper, but vetting each relationship with ruthless clarity. Who respects your vision? Who sees you as a sovereign partner? Who understands that true value isn't just money, it's freedom plus fuel? It's okay to say no. Hell, it's necessary. Because every partner who tries to clip your wings chips away at the fire they say they support. Crowdfunding communities demand real connection, so keep them close. Make them feel the power they wield. Institutional partners demand results, but they also need to be shown what makes your vision untouchable, unassailable. The communication between these worlds must be laser-focused, brutally honest, and above all, protecting the core. Protect that core fiercely, because without it, the whole structure crumbles. It's the difference between becoming another tech startup swallowed by venture logic and becoming a movement that rewrites the game. There's another layer most miss: the emotional warfare inside the founder's head. It's the battle between the hunger for freedom and the fear of being alone. Institutions offer not just money, but the promise of safety, predictability. Crowdfunding offers chaos, but also belonging. And navigating that isn't about juggling balances. It's about redefining what safety and belonging mean. They don't come from handcuffs disguised as contracts or votes with strings attached. True safety comes from sovereignty, the power to say yes, to say no, to call the shots because you know your value, your mission, your worth. True belonging comes from aligning with those rare few who burn as you do, investors and backers who don't want you to bend but to become. This is the inner work that must happen alongside the external battle. Without it, even the best strategies crumble under pressure. For those who feel this tension, the desperate pull between building real scale and staying true, a radical shift is needed. It starts with rejecting the narrative that you must sacrifice parts of yourself to grow. That the crowd's voice and the investor's money live in separate worlds. Instead, see the crash as your invitation. Forge new paths. Partner with the few who see your fire and know it can't be tamed, only guided. Create systems that honor both transparency and autonomy. Technology helps here. Smart contracts, decentralized governance, community-driven milestones, tools that put the power back into your hands without sacrificing structure. Don't let the old world's fear of difference dictate your future. This isn't about fitting into a mold. It's about breaking it, shattering expectations, and building something new where the rare don't just survive, but thrive insanely. Every second wasted doubting this collision means missed opportunity. The new world is taking shape in this very friction between grassroots chaos and institutional order. And if you can master it, you unlock something extraordinary. A future where your vision expands with power, your community feels heard and honored, and your sovereignty isn't a myth but a reality carved in fire and grit. So don't fear this collision, embrace it. It's the gateway to a new era of possibility where founders, investors, and leaders don't trade freedom for funding. They trade fear for ferocity. This is the fight worth having, the path worth carving. And it starts the moment you refuse to be a pawn in someone else's game and decide to become the sovereign architect of your own revolution.